Hi guys, DK here from KaroroCAM. Today I'm going to be taking you through part 8 of this multi-part series on how to shape a kite surfboard in KaroroCAM. Today is a little bit of an annex or a supplementary video in that in the last video we showed the creation of this machining index, but there were a couple of changes made to the design of this particular index and how we went about and how we actually ended up machining it. So to keep us up to date, we need to actually see what those changes were. So the first thing I'm going to do is change this to shaded view, and I'm going to just grab these pieces here and hide them for the moment. Now, the single biggest change that we did was actually in the size and material of this base sheet. So if I have a look here, we base this around a 1.2 by 2.4 meter MDF sheet, but we ended up finding a piece of melamine which was 740 millimeters wide. So we need to update this file, and we'll actually need to use those dimensions in the other machining procedures that will go after this. So the easiest way to do this update is we can go to curve from objects and duplicate face border. I'll just select this top surface, press enter, and then I'll just delete this solid, and I'm going to go to my top view, select this, make sure I'm centered on the object, and it's this, and I'm going to change this dimension here to 740 millimeters, and then in my perspective view I can actually solid extrude planar curve to my 16 millimeters deep, and then I'll grab these curves and go solid extrude planar curve. I do want to go both sides with this one to 5 millimeters, and then I can go solid difference, and there we go. This is now the correct dimensions. Now I'm just going to unhide those other objects, and we need to now place this in the correct position. So I'm going to do a move, click on this point, and take that to 0. So this is the new object. I go back to my rendered view, and we'll see that this has actually picked up our white material, so we're actually seeing in the correct colors as well. So that's the change for that. We can actually now I'll go back to my shaded view, and I'm going to launch KaroroCAM. And we'll just wait for this to load up. And here's our control window. So I'm going to go in my machine setup here. I'm going to change this width to 740. So that'll just bring our stock here to the same width, and a 16 millimeter depth. And I'm going to hide all of these objects. And we can see here that our original curves, which were our original machining curves, we shifted those at the same time as we shifted the rest of the rest of these objects. So I do need to change our toolpath here to selected curves, and we're now machining to that to the 5mm deep in the correct position. So that's that. From there we can just go to post-process and export it. So that's the that was the updates to the machining file, well, to the base machining files. Now I'm actually going to take all of those curves and just shift those off to our indexing layer. And I'm going to unhide the rest of the objects. So because one of the things we ended up doing was cutting these side rails on the CNC, not on the table saw as we originally intended. So to cut these, I'm going to go curve from object, duplicate face border, and grab that face. I'm then going to turn off that indexing layer and the foam block, and we'll put this out to the indexing layer as well. So I have this curve. I'm going to rotate that by 90 degrees, and I'm going to change its position. X and Y minimum, I'm going to go to 20 and 20, and then I'm going to put it at the 0 position, and I'm going to create a second one, and put that over another 20mm. So there's the two side rails that we need to cut, which I ended up cutting from a piece of scrap 16mm MDF that was in my friend's workshop. So I can take those curves, I can put those to the outside curves, and the machining depth for this will be to the stock bottom. And I did end up using multiple depths with 5mm cuts, and it was done with a 12.7mm flat end mill, no stock to leave, and I did use ramping. So that's ramping in fine. So, and we can just simply check and do a preview on this one as well. That's fantastic. So that was the additional setup that we did to cut the side rails when we created this index. So from there, it was simply a matter of going to post-process, Rich Auto DSP, and saving the GCode file. There we have it, guys. That was the updates that we did on the both the 3D model and the machining to create that index. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below, or you can email us KaroroCAM@gmail.com. Thank you very much.